Hey everyone, it's been a wild start to the second quarter of 2025 with the impact of Trump's tariffs and everything that he's been enacting over the past couple of months. We've had two back-to-back days with some pretty aggressive, slides in the stock markets. So I wanted to take a few minutes and talk about what I think, from my experience, are the five most important things you can and should do right now in terms of your investments and your financial plan. Key emphasis on financial plan, not just investments. So let's talk about these five things. Number one, the first and foremost thing you should do is absolutely nothing. Investments are like a bar of soap. The more you play with them, the more that goes away, or the faster it goes away. So the more we can restrain ourselves and use that 80% good behavior along with our 20% head knowledge, the better opportunity we have for good results down the road. Second thing is we need to revisit our numbers, right? This is a good reminder of why we have an emergency fund. For those of my retired clients that we currently have separate buckets of money set up, this is a good reminder of why we have that war chest established to make sure that when things do get a little bit sideways, they get a little bit wonky, we're not pulling out of that and ultimately sacrificing our growth and sacrificing our returns. Along with that, revisiting our numbers. What are our needs? What are our wants? What are our wishes? If we're currently just living off of our wishes and wants on top of our needs, and maybe we're living a little bit excess, now's a good time to maybe step it back a little bit. And let's focus on what's actually important right now, kind of, batten down the hatches and be focused and be prepared and cut out some of that unnecessary spending as we have uncertainty today. The reality is everybody right now is saying, oh, this time is different. It's going to be so much worse and blah, 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 blah. All those people saying that are trying to sell you something. Let me just be honest. If it's gold, if it's commodities, if it's whatever, those people are trying to sell you based on fear. I want to help you based on facts. Feelings aren't facts. Facts are facts. So that's why we're talking about this today. This time is different, of course. There's going to be some realities of that. We have not had massive tariff increases like with this in a very, very long time. But I can tell you we have been here before. Even though there's some semantics of what's going on that is different from the past, history does rhyme. And that's the fact. We know history rhymes. We're always going to have circumstances and reasons kind of freak out. If we don't freak out, that's what allows us that opportunity to keep growing and keep expanding going forward. Third thing is, if you have, based on your plan, cash on the sideline and money set aside for future goals and initiatives, now's the time to buy more. I've got money. I just put another few $1,000s in our brokerage account today because I believe that now's a good time to buy more. Based on our plan and based on where our money is, it made sense to make a contribution. Let's buy some more shares. If you had your favorite item in your favorite store that was on sale 10%, and you had the cash available and you knew you wanted to buy it anyway down the road, why would you not buy it and basically lock in a 10% return? It just kind of makes sense to do that. So where we are right now at the end of this week, if you have cash on the sideline and you've been thinking about, oh, I want to make an investment, but I'm trying to wait for the right time. The reality is there's never like a perfect time, but this is pretty much as close as it's going to get when we have volatility like this. So reach out to us, give us a call, email, let us know. We can get that set up for you. Fourth thing is you can rebalance your accounts. Now, this is not something you actually personally need to do. If you have managed accounts with us, we are doing that for you. Every single portfolio we manage has specific percentage target allocations for each individual fund. And based on what's going on in the markets right now, if things start to get out of sync or out of their target or their tolerance threshold, we're looking at rebalancing. And a good example of this is if you had a mixed portfolio of stocks and bonds over the past couple of years, well, your stocks are probably overvalued right now, or they were overvalued. And when that happens and the weightings get off, leveraged in one direction versus the other, we usually take some chips off the table, sell out the high ones, and use that to reinvest at the low. Same kind of thing happens here. Right now, stocks are down. So if we have a mix of stocks and bonds in a portfolio, if the stocks go down far enough, we might actually sell out some of the bonds and use that to rebalance the portfolio to buy into the stocks. Everybody knows buy low, sell high. That's the exact process that's happening behind the scenes. And if you have managed accounts with us, those are things we're looking at every single day for your personal investments. The last thing I want to talk about, and this is more of a tax-related item, is now is a great time to think about conversions. If you have pre-tax retirement dollars, which most people do, now's a really good time for us to have a conversation. If my account was worth $20,000 and because of market changes, it's now worth $17,000, the amount of shares that I own never changed. It's just the perceived value of them. So if I could then take that $17,000 worth of shares, convert that over to Roth today from my pre-tax accounts, when it ultimately does go back up to $20,000 in value, I just gave myself $3,000 of tax-free growth. So this is a perfect time to be looking at Roth conversions. If that's something you're interested in, again, give us a call, shoot us an email, let us know. I'm happy to take it 5 to 10 minutes to chat through that option and get you on the right path going forward. Last thing I'll say with this is now is a time to respond, not react. Life happens in the 3 seconds it takes to respond instead of react. Feelings are not facts. Emotions are feelings. We want to make sure we're operating out of the logical part of our thought process, not the emotional part, and making sure that we choose to press pause, take a deep breath, and respond when things seem to go a little bit sideways is the best way to stay on track and stay focused and actually stay aligned with your long-term future. So I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, reach out to us. Happy to talk about it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks.